Hello everybody, my name is Zach, aka The Weather Gamer, bringing you Week 3 of WWC Season 4. Your Chicago Beartics taking on Ian and the Ladner Lanturns. His information will be down below. So Ian and I finally get to square off again. The last time Ian and I played, it did not go well. I got 6-0'd by Subtoxic Zapdos, was very salty, and I think I've cooled off since then and gotten better about toxic stalling, but it's all good. I've only ever beaten Ian once, and that was in playoffs of the AABL. He beat me in the regular season. He beat me both times in WWC. So I'm looking forward to maybe evening the score here, but we'll see. Team we're rocking out with: Mega Gallade, Melmetal, Haxorus, Nihilego, Rillaboom, Primarina, Rabombi, Arctozolt, Kamala, Palossand, Liepard, and Charizard, who came off of his amazing game last week. Ian has a very interesting team. I don't understand it other than it's pure Toxic Stall again, in my opinion. But it's Mew, Dragonite, Heatran, Toxapex, Aerodactyl Mega, Tangrowth, Heliolisk, Donphan, Sock, Alcremie, and Cacturn. What 6 do I think Ian's going to bring? Well, because he Toxic Stalled me last time, part of me thinks he's going to bring Toxic Stall, Hazard Stack Toxic Stall, just to fuck with me again, because he knows that I might get tilted and pissed about that, and that'd be a good way to win. The other part of me thinks he doesn't bring any of his bulk, and he brings pure offense versus me, super offensive team, and it'll throw me off because I prep for pure bulk. So I honestly don't know which way Ian's gonna go. He might go for a mix of both. As far as who I think he brings, though, I think the Mew makes a lot of sense, just because of the ability to stack hazards, be very annoying, also potentially set up and baton pass into something. I think Heatran comes. Heatran has a very good match versus me. He also kind of just loses to Melmetal. If he does not bring Heatran, because of how bulky Melmetal is, it can tank a hit from Mega Arrow and then kill it back. It can also tank hits from Donphan and kill it back. He's going to, in my opinion, he has to bring Heatran, and special the offensive Heatran. Or Mew's got to carry Flamethrower and be special. That's the other option. Plus, it gives him a rocker, so Mew wouldn't have to carry rocks. So I think Heatran makes a lot of sense. I think Pex is going to come. Again, Toxic Stall and very, very annoying. I have Nihilego to absorb T-Spikes, which doesn't really want to take Scalds. I have Melmetal, which is immune to Toxic Stall. Doesn't really want to get Scald burned. I have Liepard, and Liepard is incredibly frail to stop T-Stall. So I think Pex comes and it probably tries to T-Stall me. Sorry, I gotta close my camera over here. I can see myself talking in 2 different places and it's messing with me. I think continuing on his T-Stall, he brings Tang. Tang actually has a pretty decent matchup. Nihilego obviously could come in on it, but he could pivot around on that pretty easily. It beats Primarina. It helps with quite a few... Well, I mean, it's not the greatest matchup, but if he wants to just be bulky Toxic Stall, I think Tangrowth comes as well, just so he can pivot between his 2 regen mons. That'll probably... I think Pex will be physically defensive because most of my checks to it are physically offensive. Melmetal, Gallade, Nihilego... Well, Nihilego special, that's not a check. Haxorus, Rillaboom, Zolt is even a physical attacker. I think that's probably physically defensive Pex, and then probably Assault Vest Tangrowth to sponge special hits, which will not be fun. I think he brings the Mega Arrow, and this is where if he's going to go Subtoxic or Toxic Stall, it's going to be with Mega Arrow, because it's going to be Subtoxic Roost attacking move, probably Earthquake, because it hits my team the hardest. Subtoxic, Roost, Earthquake, and then he'll try to Toxic Stall me down, which is what he did with Zapdos. So I'm kind of prepared for this arrow to be super annoying and toxic-y, but we'll see what happens with it. And then I think Donphan also comes because then it takes rocks off Heatran, so Heatran could be more offensive, potentially be Spexed in order to try and break down some of my Toxapex answers. Donphan is also just very good versus my team. It gives him a backup to Heatran for Melmetal. Rillaboom would affect it, but if I'm Ian, I don't think Rillaboom comes just because he's got a Pex, a Tangrowth, a Heatran, and a Mega Arrow, which I agree. Which is why, jumping into the team, we don't have Boom yet. I will bring Rillaboom this season. I'm very disappointed I haven't gotten to use it yet. But first up, we have Melmetal here with Lumberry, Iron Fist, obviously, is its only ability. Double Iron Bash, Facade, Earthquake, and Ice Punch. Max HP, 248 attack. And then the speed stat is to outspeed a min speed Pex. I believe it's Pex, I am correct. We got a creep, I think it was Pex. Yeah, it's to speed creep a min speed Pex, or to speed creep a creeped Pex if he tries to creep me. It makes me faster than Toxapex, which means I can Earthquake it. This combination, the Lumberry is if Pex scalds me and I get burned. The Lumberry will heal my burn and allow me to fire off another Earthquake, potentially killing the Toxapex if I can get it off. It also allows me to hide the Facade tech if need be, because Facade is actually... Melmetal just hits so freaking hard. It's unbelievable how hard this is. Double Iron Bash is still going to do a ton to resisted mons. Like, sorry, I have something itching my nose because I woke up with my dog laying so close to me. I think I inhaled some of her hairs and it's got my nose all wacky. Double Iron Bash is still going to do a ton, even to a defensive Tangrowth. Plus, there's Flinch Stance. Facade is really good if Mew comes in and burns me with Will-O-Wisp. Facade will do a lot of damage to it. Earthquake is really nice at 2 shots Pex. And then Ice Punch. Tang, the Donphan. Heatran doesn't want to get Earthquaked. Dragonite doesn't want to take the Ice Punch. Heliolisk doesn't want to get Earthquake. Sock comes in, but I don't see Sock coming this match. Alchemy's not coming in, and Cacturn doesn't really want to take the Iron Fist Ice Punch. Double Iron Bash will actually 2-shot will OHKO the Aerodactyl because of how strong and stupid this move is. So, that's Melmetal. Melmetal's gonna hit hard. Damn nose. Up next we have Ribombee with Expert Belt. It is Dance Ribombee, Quiver Dance, Psychic, Bug Buzz, and Moonblast. Max special attack, max speed. That max speed actually puts me 1 speed point below Heliolisk. So it could be Scarfed if it hits me first. I can beat it with Modest, or with Timid speed stat. I'd outspeed it and wouldn't have to be max, and I could run a little bulk. But I feel like I need to be Modest Expert Belt because I can 2-shot physically defensive Tang or Toxapex with Psychic. Which is why at +1, which is why I am the way I am. Or especially defensive, sorry. If it's special Toxapex at +1, a Quiver Dance Psychic off of an Expert Belt will do 50%, and then if he chooses to haze me, a second Psychic will put him down in range where he'll die. He won't be able to, he'll be forced to recover basically. He won't be able to haze, and then I could potentially Quiver Dance again, do 75%. Like, it's gonna be a mind game as to how I force hairs. It's gonna be a mind game as to how I force Ian to play around this. Ribombee also just hits really, really nicely, with Bug Buzz and Moonblast as well. +1 Moonblast will OHKO a Mega Arrow. Pex with the Psychic. Heatran doesn't necessarily appreciate any hit. Once Heatran goes down, it opens up Ribombee. Dragonite doesn't want to get Moonblasted. Mew doesn't want to get Bug Buzzed. Tangrowth doesn't want to get Bug Buzzed, even with an Assault Vest. Plus, I can set up on Tangrowth. Heliolisk doesn't appreciate hits. Donphan doesn't appreciate hits. Sock will get knocked to Sturdy off of Moonblast. Alchemy doesn't really care, but again, I don't think it's coming. And Cacturn also doesn't want to take a Bug Blast to the face. So, but Ribombee, Melmetal both trying to break a little bit. Kamala here, this is the first mon of Anti-Toxic Stall. heavy duty boots, so I don't take stealth rock and spike damage because you can set both of those on me. With Mew, plus I don't get heavy duty boot or sticky webs if you bring sticky webs for some reason. Comatose, no poisons, no burns, so I can check in on statuses pretty easily. And then rapid spin to get rid of his hazards, because T-spikes are very, very bad for me, as are just every hazard in general. Earthquake, knockoff, and play rough are my 3 attacks. 152. Adamant Nature, 108 in the Spadef, max HP. Kind of giving a slight special wall because my metal's a physical wall, kind of. Earthquake for the Heatran, Earthquake for the Toxapex, knockoff to get rid of items, specifically whatever Mew's holding, get rid of lefties on, or Black Sludge, sorry, on the Pex, get rid of Tangrowth's Assault Vest if it's Assault Vest, because then that opens up Ribombee and Primarina even more. Play Rough is... Play Rough is for Sock. Hang on, my dog tried to jump on the bed. Do you need help getting up? Are you that old? No, you're just gonna run away now. Okay. If Sock comes, it's gonna be the direct check to Kamala, so Play Rough will knock it into, first off, Spin will break its, Spin will break its Sturdy, and as long as it's not Scarf, Play Rough will kill the rest of the way. So that would allow Kamala to take out that check and get hazards off. He also doesn't have a Ghost type, so I can freely Spin, which is really nice. Up next, okay, so this was a Mon that I was debating about bringing. Originally, this was Mega Gallade. And I was like, right before I went to sit down and record this, I was like, wait a minute. Primarina actually has a pretty decent matchup. And Primarina can actually do a decent amount of work if called upon. So I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to bring Assault Vest Primarina over a Gallade that's going to get Will-O-Wisp by Mew and not have a very good matchup. So, Assault Vest Primarina, why am I Assault Vest? To check the Heatran, if it's special Heatran or Specs Heatran, potentially, with Flash Cannon. I can take that and kill back with Hyper Voice, which I'll explain in a second. Yes, Tangrowth is a problem. Tangrowth sits there, it can Power Whip me, and that would be a very unfriendly thing. However, if I take away Tangrowth's Assault Vest, then Ice Beam has a chance to OHKO, unless he's max. So why am I Hyper Voice? Liquid Voice, Hyper Voice. This is to get through sub. If he is the Aerodactyl set that I think he's going to potentially bring, because he did something with Zapdos where he was sub-toxic, Thunderbolt, sub-toxic, Protect, Thunderbolt with lefties. Obviously he can't have lefties on Mega Arrow, but this will break, so he can't just sub-roost on me, and try to Toxic Stall me. If he sub-roost, Protect, Toxic with no attacking move, then Primarina can not necessarily die to Toxic Stall. I can actually, because Hyper Voice, Liquid Voice, Hyper Voice, unless he's max, is still going to chunk that arrow every single time. And he won't get enough Toxic turns off to kill me. He'd have to be carrying Thunder Fang to do a lot of damage back. But, Psychic, Hyper Voice, which is water typing because of Liquid Voice, Moonblast, and Ice Beam are the 4 moves. Also, I'm going to say this right now. Low-key, I hate Primarina's design, but I'm actually really enjoying building with it. It is one of my more interesting and favorite mons to build with right now. For some reason, I'm enjoying Primarina's ability to run moves, but anyways, Psychic, Hyper Voice, Moonblast, Ice Beam. He doesn't really have a good check to Primarina besides Mew, and Mew doesn't really once I take Mew out, there's not really a good check. Ice Beam and Moonblast will take Dragonite down. Heatran doesn't want to take a Hyper Voice. Pex gets, if it's physically defensive Pex, I actually two-shot with Psychic. And it can't touch me back unless it's running like Poison Jab over Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave. Arrow gets Hyper Voiced. It can't OHKO me with Thunder Fang, even from Adamant. Tangrowth doesn't want to get Ice Beamed multiple times, especially if I knock its Assault Vest off. Heliolisk isn't taking 2 Moonblasts to the face. Donphan doesn't want to take a Hyper Voice because it'll knock the Sturdy. Moonblast knocks Sock down to Sturdy. And the defensive investments, on which is why there's 48 defense, 252 HP, 48 defense. I actually, unless he's banded Sock, I live a Poison Jab from Sock, so I'll knock into Sturdy. He won't kill me. I'll go down to 1% if he max rolls, and then I'll come back and kill Sock again. Or I'll come back and be able to kill Sock. Alcremie, I guess, is a switch-in if he brings Assault Vest Alcremie, but again, I really don't see Alcremie coming this match. I have a Melmetal, I have a Charizard which can rip into it, especially if I'm DD physical. Like, I just don't see Alcremie being valuable this match, but I might get screwed by that, and Cacturn doesn't want to take a Moonblast or an Ice Beam, so Primarina actually can do a lot of work this match. Up next, we have the true Toxic Stall, the true Stall Breaker on this team in Liepard. This thing is literally here to be as annoying as possible and try to shut down the Toxic Stall. If he sets T-Spikes with... this is probably my lead too, by the way. If he sets T-Spikes with Toxapex, I can Taunt Core him into it, which means he struggles. Basically, Taunt Core is really nice versus a lot of it. I can taunt the Mew and stop it from setting up. I have to watch out for Aura Sphere. That would be very, very unfortunate, but Taunt Core in that. Knock off to take away his stally items. T-Wave. Hey, that was not necessary, child. Francis. Hey. Francie, there's nobody here. Shh. Sorry, my dog barks at everything. And then T-Wave here is to, again, continue to taunt Core and then be annoying. The T-Wave, yes, T-Waving myself, not the greatest thing in the world if I T-Wave the Mew, but it shuts Rock Polish Mew down a little bit. Plus Prankster, so I'm guaranteed to get off the T-Wave anyways. Cacturn being his only Dark type, Prankster would not affect. But T-Waving, if I could catch Mega Arrow coming in and T-Wave it and slow it down, I would be in such a great position. Really, I just need to slow that arrow down for T-Wave. But otherwise, T-Wave is nice to slow Mew down too. But Dreadplate, just so knockoff, has a little extra power. Adamant Nature, I really didn't know where to throw the EVs in. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to throw them here and see what happens. But yeah, Liepard is basically here to be the most annoying thing in the world and try and shut down his setup sweepers as well as shut down Stall Break. This thing is kind of with Kamala, these two are kind of no, you're not stalling me out, which is why I might think he might just bring Hyper Offense versus me. Finally, we have Hacks. It's Choice Band Hacks. Speed stat wise, we outspeed 297. What did we creep down? Heatran, I think. No, D-Knight. Or did we creep? Sock. We creeped to Sock, I think. If I remember correctly, it's creeped to Sock. Banded First Impression just hits very hard. Close Combat. Earthquake's a 2-shot on the Pex. And Outrage just hits his entire team very, very hard. Obviously, I gotta avoid the burn. Only needed 180 attack investment to 2-ko and OHKO. What I need to. If it's fully defensive Mew, I'll know. Because First Impression won't kill. And yeah. That's pretty much it. I know this was a longer team builder, but I had to actually think this one through pretty hard. So, thank you guys for watching. See you guys tomorrow for the battle.